Hi guys. I hope you were able to hear me and everything. I can't believe this just so I thought it was something to do with my computer because I logged on early to set up and then the whole thing just I just couldn't get in, and I thought it was something that I had done, but then I went on Twitter finally and they said the website was down, and I've been checking and it's now back on. So here we are. Okay. Okay, great. So I got some response, so that's good. So there's so much to talk about, guys, as usual. There's just a lot of possible topics. Let me know if there's anything that you feel a sense of urgency about, okay? I also added themes that I have never done before because I felt like, especially with yesterday's reading, and the themes I've been looking at, they're so heavy and dark that I added Tiffany Trump and Barron Trump because I thought there's something kind of sweet about them. I feel like they won't be contaminated. Okay. So I don't know if you want to do that just to have because I want to do Eric Prince. Eric Prince is so dark that I feel like I want to do Tiffany just because she's sort of like light. I don't know. Okay, let's see. What else? What else? Prince of Darkness. Yes. And also, no, I was thinking of for entertainment value. Also, Kelly. I haven't heard like Kellyanne Conway. I did a reading on her a long time ago, and I haven't. She's been kind of like she disappeared, sort of. And the book mentioned that I think her dream was to be on a talk show or to have a talk show or something. And she's just so I don't know, unlikable and kind of slimy, like all of them. Yeah, she could talk. She can talk definitely, but she's just like she has no empathy and she has no sense of timing. Yes, alternative facts. So, oh my God, so gross. So I wonder, no. So I wonder if I should just kind of, I know I should be more decisive about these things, okay? But maybe, I'm trying to think here. I kind of want to, I'm trying, okay, let me just concentrate a little bit here and try to think like what is most urgent, what is most pressing. Collective question. Hi, Diane. Diane had emailed me as well about asking about the whole thing with, should I ask about Tiffany? Maybe I should ask about Tiffany because Diane also had a, let me start with Tiffany Trump because she's kind of like a nice, I feel like so much lighter than everybody else. Okay. So what's up with, tell us about Tiffany Trump and her experience growing up and her future, because I feel like she's not connected to this. She's much lighter. Okay. So what's up with Tiffany Trump? Tiffany Trump. 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 And somebody emailed me, I won't name names, saying that they knew somebody who knew her. And I had heard something similar from somebody who had worked for, let's say worked for the Trump family in some degree and had signed an NDA and said that Tiffany she had no relationship with Trump growing up, and that he only called her at a scheduled time once a week, and that's it. So anyway, so Tiffany Trump, Tiffany Trump, Tiffany Trump, Tiffany Trump, Tiffany Trump, Tiffany Trump, her experience growing up, and then what happens to her next? Because I'm more curious about her future than about anything else. Okay. So, okay. So her childhood, I guess her adult years are still in progress. And how, okay, so tell me about Tiffany Trump, Tiffany Trump, Tiffany Trump. Maggie's saying, I think it's amazing how the cards really do fall and tell this story. Yeah, it's funny. I sometimes I feel like I'm too picky with the card, and like shuffle too much. And like now I chose I don't know, the order of cards, and then I'm like, should I? Sometimes I do that. I'll do that. I'm like, oh, should I have? Maybe I picked the wrong pile or something. So I don't know. Because now I'm like, oh, what does this mean? Anyway, so all right. So the childhood, I think it's interesting. This is money, okay, and ship. I think to me this means distance. She was far away from her dad. I don't know if she was in the same. I think she grew up in LA, if I'm not mistaken. Her mother moved to LA a long time ago. This is a like fighting or factions upside down. There were disagreements. So maybe this was the divorce or something. And this is upside family values upside down, coffin. So an ending. I feel like maybe the moving ended the relationship, or there was not much of a relationship there. Okay. And dealing with changes are key. Yeah, Diane is saying that Marla. It's funny because Marla Maples is very close to Marianne Williamson, who is this author. I kind of like her. I mean, she's not everything, but I think I like a lot of things that she does. So it's interesting that I feel like she would not be close to Marianne Williamson if she were like a hardcore pro-Trump person. So anyway, guys, so here is the ship, the sun. So at the same time, I think the ship here would indicate that she was kind of happy to be away from her dad, and that there's like an ending. I feel like essentially when she moved out to California, probably there was an ending to their relationship, and this is key to probably what explains their relationship later. Okay, let's look into the adult years. Interesting. So yeah, so this is lovers upside down, and as said before, this card like this means harmony and like soulmate kind of situation. If it's upside down, I think this means just harmony, and probably they dislike each other or something. And you have the scythe. So there was basically a disharmony, and I think probably she dislikes him to some degree. And this is a card of burden, a card of karma. So she probably feels that her dad is a burden for her. Okay. And this is a dog. So this is, I think the card, the dog, has come up in some readings as family members when I've done some personal readings and so forth, and people we can trust. And I think it makes sense here. So I feel like here two could mean her family, and you have the sun upside down. So it's like, I think this cut affected her family. Okay, not just the dad, but that's kind of a problem. But that this is a group working together and lots of money. So I feel like ultimately she benefits from the inheritance in some way, okay, or the wealth, and that she gets. But if you look at these together, it's kind of interesting because it says that she feels. Oh, let's see here. Try to connect it. There's a cut to basically, I think, the relationship with her siblings, but she gets money, right, from being in that family, but at the same time she feels that the money is a burden. Okay, so that's that. All right, so okay, so that's it. Barron. Okay, all right. So then, okay, so that's the adult years. Now, I this part, when I did the Ivana, oh my God, I get them confused sometimes. Sorry, the Ivanka. I found it interesting. It's like how she sees him and how he sees her. So let's do now how he sees. Okay, how she sees him, how she sees him. Okay. Interesting. So kind of interesting. So it's like strength. So how she sees him as a strong snake. So a person, as you, like she thinks he's a snake, and this is a card of heartbreak and kind of stress. I feel like, you know what I get from this is that he really stresses her out. He really like is manipulative and like kind of, yeah, she doesn't like it, but he's an opportunist. Okay, he makes her feel, because this is a card of blackmail. Okay, and I think ultimately manipulation and pushing people, basically kind of like pushing people around to do their bidding. So I think he's an opportunist snake. And I feel this is averting death. Okay, and meetings or siblings. And I feel like this is also a card of siblings, which I think is interesting here. Yes, so then it's interesting here, and this is a card of the world, okay, position in the world, and fox. So I feel like she knows that he does a lot of behind the scenes shady dealings, and that he's a snake. So she knows he's corrupt, and I think the birds here, because one time I don't forget exactly how, but I feel like to me it's a sign of it is siblings or people around you, people who talk around you. So I feel like here it makes a lot of sense that, let's see if I can hold it together like this. So it's like he's a snake and everybody, so is everybody who he talks to, or the people that are around him. Okay. And all the people that are around him are also participating in the shady deals, and that he's doing shady deals behind the world, which is literally, right? Because he's the president. So in a way, he's a person who does shady things behind the everyone's back, but that ultimately he's an opportunist. Okay. So he's an opportunist snake who does shady dealings. Absolutely. Right. And that it's like the death in a way, it's like here, diverting death. I feel like it's like, yeah, they're just snakes kind of out for each other. They can't be trusted. Okay. Okay. So that's that. That's how she sees him. Now let's see how he sees her. I feel like this is a money he doesn't like. This is a child. Okay, so I feel like he doesn't like her. It's almost like he's another number on the P&L. Like she's another. I don't know. I feel like this indicates that he's not happy with the fact that he has to support her. That he's a financial drain for him in some way. And I think this can be a card of like, this is a kind of like a bratty, somewhat abusive, and also this is a card of exactly, but it's just that he feels that she's a waste of money. Exactly. And this is a card of aggression and fighting. So I feel like he can be, and I think this is pretty clear, he's probably very abusive, kind of verbally abusive towards her, and kind of bullyish. But I feel like that's kind of the norm here for him, okay, from what we know of him. And this is a person who can't get through, okay, trying to get through or can't get through, and a man here. And I don't know if, and I feel like this could be his role with her, okay, that he doesn't, maybe he doesn't make much of an effort, okay, to get through. And this is a debt, and this is a card of a letter. So I feel like it's an inheritance. So if he feels like she's a burden, a financial burden for him in some way. That he has the legal obligation to pay for her things, but well, that's that. Okay. Yeah, I feel like because there's discussion here. Cynthia thinks that she's very I feel like in a way, not to be like romantic about it, but I feel like, would you want to be his daughter? Like, I would not want to be his daughter. Like, no matter how much money you have, if you don't, it's like, if you are the child of somebody like that, either you are the perfect, like Ivanka is the perfect image, right? He likes that. But if you're not the perfect image according to what he thinks is appropriate, then you really suffer, okay? Because narcissists, my dad is a little bit like that. Like my dad, I don't have much contact with him, but he's not as bad, obviously not as bad as Trump, but it's sort of like a person who, like, they're kind of mean. Narcissistic people are very mean, and they use that meanness to kind of put you down and in order to get what they want. So I feel like that's what he does. Like, you know, probably like, hey, you're not quite, like, kind of like petty little, like, you know, barbs, and like, you know, you're not, you should be like this, you're not like that. Exactly. Like, so your role is to just look like a toy, but, you know, sort of like that. Like you have an image over how you're supposed to do what you're supposed to say. And if you don't do that, then like they get upset. Okay. So I feel, you know, what this would indicate to me is that to me, it's like he's a dad on paper. Okay. In the sense that, like, yeah, so it's like he's a dad on paper, and he's just like, that's it. Like, and this is fighting. Okay. So it's like, and I think they had a kind of a difficult divorce, if I'm not mistaken, but I feel like it's also, he's aggressive towards her, and he is mean and not a nice person. I mean, we know that about him, right? So that's the story. And now, what happens to her? Now, this is interesting. What happens to her after the Mueller investigation? Well, what happens to her after the Mueller investigation? Okay. Yeah, I think things look good for her. I think, like, this is a card of a breakthrough in some way. Okay. This is a breakthrough. And it's interesting. I feel like this is a card of a long time or stability. So she finally, I think, in some ways has peace of mind, a stability that she craved. And this was apathy or disappointment, and tree here. And I feel like it may be disappointing. This I think somehow could get could indicate people around her. But you guys are saying you have to remember, yeah. So you have to remember that the whole thing about her inheriting money, I don't think there's going to be much left, honestly. I think whatever she got, she already has. And after this, that's it, okay? So anyway, so this is a long-term growth or stability. And this is power to get things done. And I think news or new person, I feel like it's almost like she comes to her own and she finds a new freedom, power. She's like, feels empowered after the, I feel like when everything goes down, then she suddenly feels that she has a place to go. Yes, Diane asked if she just signed on, and I said yes. We're talking about Tiffany, and I'm talking about what's going on, what's up with her, what's happening to her. Now we are after the Mueller investigation. Okay, so this is a card of entanglements. Okay, so I feel like she feels that even though she's entangled by being part of the family, she somehow is able to expand or achieve her dreams. So that's good. And it makes sense because I'll show you here, guys. Like, so there's news, or like I think a new arrival, like a news about her dreams, or I feel like she feels empowered and things kind of work for her. Okay, I feel like she still has a little bit of feelings that she's burdened with the name, but I think ultimately, okay, so ultimately she grows and she expands into herself, like she becomes who she really is without having to perform. Because I feel like, there's something about her that she looks like a doll, like not in the sense that she's like a little bit like this, like she's performing in public. Okay. And yeah, I don't have a bad feeling about, in terms of like, I don't have a bad feeling about her at all. Yeah. Patty Jo is saying she's fortunate that Trump can't find a way to use her. Exactly. Because if she was another like robot daughter, like a Stepford, like what's her name, Ivanka, then he'd be like, oh, why don't you go pose nude for Playboy or whatever? Like, that's probably like what he want. Exactly. Marla, exactly. I feel like that's what he would have wanted for her. Like, oh, go be naked, like, and then work for me or something, So I feel like that's the thing. Okay, so that was kind of, well, the magazine, the negative cards are there. There's this side and you have the coffin, but it's just that they're just distributed in a way that are not, they just said the whole, collectively speaking, their whole reading is not a bad reading. Okay, and I feel like the bad stuff, I think a lot of the earlier cards are worse than the future cards too. Okay, so that's better. Now, guys, so if you have somebody mentioned they wanted to find out about Barron. Would you still want to find out more about Barron now? Okay. If you have other preferences, yeah, let's do Barron. Because I feel like I kind of like after yesterday's reading, I'm like, oh my God, it was heavy. And then today, when I think of Eric Prince, I'm like, oh, he's just so heavy. But I still want to do a reading on him because it's such a big deal. Okay. I'm trying to think of somebody else, but okay, let's do Barron. I'm trying to think if I should ask, like, because in a way, his teen years and his childhood is still. I guess I could split his childhood, his teen years, which is now, and then I don't know if like I'm worried about him. Actually, Cynthia, I don't think he will. I feel like he will be one of those that, because a lot of times when the kids, the ones that don't fit, it's like somebody, I forgot which one of you said something like the kid that doesn't fit the dad's pattern. Okay, then Yeah, let's see what, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if, actually, I don't know if we can tell. I just don't get a feeling that he's like the others. So maybe the others, you know, when they were kids, they were like, I feel like, have you seen those pictures of Eric and what's his name, the other one, Donald Jr. when they were geeky, and I feel like they must have been so teased by their dad that, yeah, it's interesting that Melania, even though I think she's very much somebody who's like not, you know, she's materialistic and shallow as they all are. I think she seems to be present in his life. Mm. So let's see. No, and I think you know I had done a but at the very end it was funny because it said that she has trouble collecting the money at the end. Okay, she's not going to get very much child support because he's going to lose all the money. Okay, so she's not going to get much left. Okay, I don't know what happens to her, but no, and Cynthia, no, it's like there's nothing left. Like the money is going to be taken by the government or whoever. Like he owes money, he never paid taxes. It's all stolen money in some way or another. You know what I mean? So it's like if you have a deal with somebody, like let's say you're Bernie Madoff's son, supposed to inherit money, and then he goes to prison, and the money it's like kind of similar. Okay, it's like the money is gonna go away, everything. No, nothing, guys, wake up. Like, no, it's not how it is. It's like if you are married to somebody, let's say theoretically, okay, married to somebody, and then they are arrested by the SEC or whatever, right? Then their money is gone. You can't get money because the money is gone. Like you can't, it's not one of those things where you have a contract to say you pay me X, but then if the money has already been taken by the government, okay, then it's over. Okay, exactly. It's sort of like, let's say you're married to like a drug smuggler and you have like a huge house and everything. So if the government takes your money, you know, if the person is arrested or whatever and loses the money, then yeah, then it means nothing. Nothing, you know what I mean? So that's what happens, I think. Okay. Yeah, Diana, see, I think they're cash poor now. I don't think, actually, I think now they're cash rich because of all the corruption, right? They must be getting a lot more money. And by the way, guys, did you see the news about how the government is looking into cash deposits from the Russian from like the Russian embassy? Because I have this like weird obsession about spies or whatever, right? So there's a very famous American spy who is still in prison. His name is Aldrich Ames, and he's serving consecutive life sentences. So the way that the CIA caught him was that they looked at his bank deposits. He was working in the Russian section of the CIA or something like that, and then he would meet with a Russian person, and they noticed every time he would meet with a Russian person, he would get a substantial amount cash deposit amount. So anyway, so right now they are looking at the money that's coming from the Russian embassy and going, and right after they annexed Crimea, the Ukraine thing, like a part of Ukraine, these cash deposits, like there was a lot of cash that was exchanged. So they're thinking that there could be something. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. So that's interesting. I'm just saying that I feel like they're looking at these cash deposits probably to look at all the suspects probably and see who's getting these cash deposits. Where is it going? Okay. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting, just apropos of what the news said. But let's do Barron. So Barron Trump, what happens to Barron Trump? Let's look at his childhood, his teen years, and what happens in his adult life in general, okay? how he sees his dad, how his dad sees him. Okay. So Barron Trump, Barron Trump. What happens to Barron Trump? Barron Trump, Barron Trump. What happens to Barron Trump? What Maggie is asking, what report is? I think it's something on BuzzFeed, because there's this guy who's friends with James Comey. His name is Benjamin Witts Vitas. I forgot what's his name. It's like, yeah, Witts. You can find it on Twitter. He's like a, you know, one of those, like, he's a nerdy lawyer person. And there's a blog called Lawfare blog. Okay, so he's like one of those people in this blog. So I follow him on Twitter, and I think it's on BuzzFeed. I read it on BuzzFeed. So anyway, so okay, guys. So Barron Trump, what happens to Barron Trump? What happens to Barron Trump? It seems like a nice, sweet kid. I'm going to type the name of the person who okay. That's the name, Benjamin Vitas, I think. Okay, so he's on Twitter. And he's friends with James Comey. Anyway, so Barron Trump. Yes, no. Because I feel like the so-called resistance, or the people, like, it's always the same. It's Lawrence Tribe is another one. He's a lawyer, famous law professor, interesting person to follow. And who else? Another one. I feel like those people who are technical, I love following them because I feel like I learn a lot. And I don't know, obviously, much about law, so it's kind of interesting. So. Okay, so his channel. This is energy. And I feel like, again, this is another card of thing. I don't know if it's him, but it's like a friendly person or a family person. And this is lovers. And in a way, karma, or so like a heavy burden. Okay. You know what I think this, okay, I'll show you what I think this means, guys. It's kind of strange, but I feel like his birth created created a distance between Melania and Trump, okay? And this is isolation, okay? Isolation, a person who's like living in their own world. And somebody mentioned autism. I don't know if it could mean, and this is distance. So I feel like his isolation, or his like living in his own world, means because there was a distance probably from his dad or from his other siblings, okay? And this is the Empress upside down, and I think this is the mother, right? Like this, and I'm like saying upside down. So then created some problems with the mother in some way, okay? Yes, so Patty Joe said he wasn't born perfect, so Trump has no time for him. Exactly. So I feel like here, what I think this means is that the distance created problems for Melania. Okay, or like they were distance, like the distance from the dad or from the family the distance created problems for Melania for him. So basically you have here the dog, I think it's probably him, okay? The dog, and it's like he came out of I don't know if it was unexpected or something like that, but it's like this is a creator a burden, okay, or a sense of something dark here, and worries about something that's hidden. Maybe you're right, like there's something hidden about him or his condition or something like that, okay? And then he's isolated. So there's a nice sense of isolation and loneliness about him, okay? And that there's something where I feel like there could a sense of, let's say the word that came to my mouth was dislocation, but something like there's a distance about him, or like he's removed from something, from the world, or like from how Trump likes to. You're right that he's not one of these kids who's like, and I don't know, I don't know much about boys, but I feel like he's not one of those who's like playing sports, or like he's the quarterback, or like whatever, like very how do you say it, like very cliche boy or something, you know what I mean? Like if you're a little bit, you know how like especially even Trump's like policies, it's all about a cliche of a person, not a real person. So it's like if you don't fit the cliche of exactly, not a dog, not a person like that, then it's like, sorry, you know, whatever. Okay, so that's the childhood. Well, let's see now the teen years. Should I ask? Yeah, let's see the teen years because I had asked before. So there's a gift here or an invitation, and he doesn't want it. And it could be that moving to Washington, or that he doesn't like, it's like if we look at this literally, it could mean that he doesn't like what he was given. He doesn't like it he might feel that the privilege that he has is not what he wants. He doesn't like it. And this is a sense of, this is a card when something happens quickly, also travel and pain. So something painful, stressful, okay. And I feel like maybe it's the sudden twist of fate, maybe, okay. Sudden twist of fate created pain for him. It's painful to be privileged in the way that he's privileged now, okay. This is a card of implementing plans, or maybe he had plans or ideas, things he wanted to do, but he can't. Upside down, long-term problems. So I feel like his privilege causes long-term problems for him. Okay, here on top, these two together, the privilege that he doesn't like ends up causing long-term problems for him. And it's interesting, this is like averting an ending, okay, or something coming to an end, and happy. So, okay, this is going to sound kind of weird to say, but I feel like, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say, guys, if his dad dies, he's not that sad about it, okay? I feel like almost like he'd be happy if the whole thing comes to an end, okay? I feel like, guys, I don't think I'm autistic. I'm almost there. Like, I feel like I'm kind of in my own world in some ways as well. I've always been like, I know exactly what it's like to be like that. I don't think I am like him, though, in a way that how I grew up. Like in Brazil, it's like a very social place. So, but I think you can be I'm kind of in my own world kind of person or whatever. Anyway, so it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just that you kind of have to carve your own path. That's tough sometimes, especially if you're in that kind of family, right? So anyway, all right, so you see the gift or the privilege causes long-term problems for him, and the gift and the privilege also causes pain. But at heart, he's happy. He's happy that, like, he can't wait for this to end, basically, okay? And I don't know that, like, it's just, this is the teen years, and he's barely entered the teen years. So it's possible that he will live through the real hardships of everything, but that in the end, he's happy. So and I feel like, it's almost like I see him talking to somebody, like telling you what happened in his life, sort of like, guys, it was horrible, when the whole thing ended and it was like such a mess. My dad was so out of it. And like, but you know what? I'm sorry to say this. I'm happy. I was so much happier when it ended. Okay. So I feel like that's kind of how I feel. Like whatever struggles he has and ultimately. Okay. So then how does he see his dad? Okay. I think this is Melania, okay, Queen of Wands. And he likes his mom. His mom makes him happy. And I think this is a card of the boss. It could be matriarch, could also be related to the mother, but I think in this case could be that the dad is the boss. And this is the wrong focus. So he is the boss of things, like of wrong works. He works in kind of shady things, okay? I almost see him like saying, "Hey, my dad is a gangster, man." Saying something like that, okay? He's like, "My dad is crazy," or something, okay? And this is interesting. This is a card of theft. Election. He thinks his dad stole the election, which is good. He probably knows better than we do. And that his dad, this is probably his dad, okay? His dad is famous, or like is recognized. He thinks his dad is famous. I don't know. And if I look at this like this, it's interesting because it's almost like my dad is famous because he stole the election. Like, oh yeah, my dad is the guy who got really famous because he stole an election. And could also mean that it could also mean that that he has a warm relationship with his mother, or that he's looking at how it's also he looks at his dad with a more with detachment, basically wanting to find out like what he is like and what he does. So that's how he sees his dad. Now let's see how his dad sees him. This is Chariot, so it's like this is a card of control, okay? Chariot like this, control and willpower like this. Maybe he thinks he's a little bit lazy or something like that. He talks a lot, but I don't think he talks a lot. He's just like, yeah, this is a card of conversations and talks, meetings. And this is like this is like the emotions turn, like something changed with her emotions, and this is a woman, probably Melania. So it's possible that it's possible that Melania, he feels that once Barron came along, then the relationship with Melania changed. Okay. And then maybe he talks to Melania a lot or something like that. And this is aggressive and marriage. I don't know exactly. We'll see how that connects with the other things. Okay. And this is a person who won't give up, is not giving up in a book. So it could mean this is a book. I don't think this is secret. I think, guys, because especially if he's in school now, it could mean that he's actually very intelligent. He never gives up when it comes to books, meaning he's very smart. Okay. He's very book smart or very intelligent. I don't know. It could be. I don't know. I actually, honestly, guys, I don't, for some reason, I don't know anything about him, but I feel like he could be one of those kids who are like actually very intelligent, but kind of like poorly socially awkward. Yes, savant. It's funny, I call myself an idiot savant sometimes, like on a different social media. There's another social media person, because I'm like that. You remember a lot of things and you're like, have a, yeah, okay. Anyway, so, okay, guys. So anyway, so this is interesting because it could all, this could also, you know what, this could also mean, guys, something that's not related to study. Okay, this is also related to something secret related to Melania and their marriage. Okay, it's almost, you know what I feel like also, maybe, you know what this could mean too. It could also mean that Melania and Trump had, obviously their marriage is more like a business deal. Okay, I think, obviously, everybody probably thinks that. So I feel like they had, sorry, him and Melania kind of had a lot of conversations and make deals in a way about having this child. This child was part of the business deal of the marriage in some way. Okay, could also mean that. Okay, so since Trump sees people in terms of how they relate to him or they fulfill his ideas of everything, then this would make sense. Okay, now let's see what happens after the Mueller investigation. What happens to Barron after the Mueller investigation? Okay, so this is he wants to unburden himself in public. He may talk, interesting. You know what? It could have happened that he could actually eventually talk about his family in public. And there's disappointment, probably with the shenanigans that went behind the scenes. Like he feels guilty or feels like his dad was a monster, maybe. Okay, something like that. So public shenanigans behind things become public. And this is disappointment. There's a lot of disappointment, long-term disappointment, or like he wants to move on from disappointment and get something more permanent, okay, or stability. Okay, so this is the last card, guys, before I put everything together. This guy, okay, I just, like, ever since I started these readings, I've said I want to be honest as possible, even when things look bad or even when weird cards come up. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is a card of Ace of Cups, happy, with a scythe. Okay, so happy that things came to an end. But I honestly, okay, guys, I hate looking into these sort of things. Okay, I don't want to be like conspiracy theorist or anything like that. But I feel like, honestly, when I look at this, I'm like, suicide, or like, I don't know. That's what I feel like. I'm like, for some reason, I just said, like, is it suicide? Like, I don't know. I don't think it is. Okay, I don't want to be like super dark, but I feel like the scythe, he's happy. Okay, there's another thing that I thought was a little strange here. Okay, this part here where he's happy, there's an end with an ending, and here he's happy with the scythe. There's something about it, like, yeah, maybe it could be that he's happy that things came to an end. Okay, he's very happy, but I also feel like there's something there where he wants this to end, or he's happy with an ending, or he wants, like, he's something like that. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there and say it. Okay, because it doesn't mean, like I said, I don't know those things. This is like very dark, but I feel like he wants permanent ending to like, because you have here public shenanigans behind the scenes. Everything comes to an end, and this permanence in the public, something like he's forever known for something, or like his family kind of like something like yeah, like he's forever tainted with the darkness of that family. Okay, and he's happy, like the ending is forever. Okay. So what happened? I'm trying to, what happens like in his adult, like in his 30s and 40s or whatever. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here if something happens. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't, what? I think it's too far. Like, I feel like I think it's like a death game, and then the snake. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's fine. I don't want to tell. Like, I think that's it. I think he's happy that things come to an end, and I think it would look, if whatever he does in his 30s and 40s seems very normal. There's nothing really out of the ordinary about the cards that came up. It doesn't really matter like too much. But I feel like what I sense from him is that much more than Tiffany, he feels very burdened by the whole thing. Okay. He feels like he hates being in this position of like being in a claustrophobic environment where he has to be a certain way, and he hates the people around his dad, I think. So I feel, because at least Tiffany, she was saved by her distance, right? She lived in a different state. She was far away from her dad. But Barron is like, he's in this, like, the bubble. He lives there with his mom. And his mom, for all like her niceness or whatever, all she does is like go to hair appointments or in a shop or whatever, like get Botox. Okay, that's her job. I don't think that, yeah, it's like, what does she do really? Like, she's, for as nice as she can be, she probably has several nannies, and it's not like let's just get real. It's not like she's super, exactly. She does nothing. She does nothing and I've read many reports that said that she doesn't like disease. She's basically ladies who lunch. That's her life. That's what she likes. They kind of like putting, wearing clothes and like going away. Like that's her job. Okay. And so that's that, guys. So that was a bear. Yeah. I feel like he feels imprisoned by the situation. Okay. And I feel like his whole life, those children of like billionaires, like I remember, what was the heir of like the Gettys or something, like those people who are like have these like names that are may have money, but there's like a lot of darkness surrounding it. Sort of like that. Although I don't think you'll end up with very much money, because they may, yeah, exactly, end up doing drugs, stuff like that. Yeah. So sort of like he may end up with very little. And I get a sense that he's a nice kid. Like, there's nothing, he seems to be aware of what's going on. Okay. And he seems kind of nice in his own way. And we'll see. Yeah, it's funny. I really don't get it. I get a sense, and maybe that's my projection, that he'll like work hard and like have a normal life. Like, I think he's maybe I'm wrong. It could be that he's developmentally weird, but I feel like he's intelligent in his own way. And I think he's just going to lose, he's not going to have like the older boys. Like, he's not going to have the family business, because I don't think that he's going to have much left, or I don't think he has talents to sell condos or whatever you do with Trump. So that's that, guys. So that's that. So next, I think there's room for one more reading. And I'm trying to think. So there's a lot of Republicans. There's Kellyanne. There is There is us. I want to do Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Yeah, Trey Gowdy. Yeah, Kristen. You know what I was thinking? Like, what about that one Kristen? Is she too like low end? Or is she too like? You want to do who would die? It's like so Patty Kristen. So we're between Trey Gowdy, Kellyanne, Kristen. Okay, who wins here? Kevin McCarthy. Oh my God, the worst. Yeah, we've done Sarah Huckabee. Yeah. So, okay. What should I? Okay, Kristen. What happens? Let's find out more about this woman. Just quick. It's not going to be a super in depth. Let's go and look into this woman because she's so random. This woman, Kristen. I don't know anything about her. Kristjen Nielsen. Okay, so she's that one who works in the Department of Homeland Security. So let's find out more about her. What happens to her because she's shady. Okay. And then I just want to find out what, because I don't know that she's involved with the Trump, like the Mueller investigation. So let's just ask. I'm just going to do kind of like a timeline for her. See what happens next. Okay, what's happening with her? Who is she? What's the deal with her? Like, what's the deal? Who's this woman? Kristjen Nielsen. Okay. What's Kristjen Nielsen? What happens with her? What's the deal with her? Kristjen Nielsen, the woman who is openly racist, who said that Trump didn't say those things in the meetings when he obviously said. Who's this woman, Kristjen Nielsen? What happens to her? What's up with the Kristjen Nielsen? What happens to her? What's the deal with Kristjen Nielsen? What happens to her? What's the deal with Kristjen Nielsen? What happens to her? Yeah. Well, I think Patty Joe asked if she can lie about a meeting. I feel like the whole thing with Homeland Security is all about racism, like implementing those racist policies. That's all it's all about. Okay, like ICE, that's under them. Okay, so that's their. I think that's the main priority of this administration is like treating immigrants badly. Okay, so that's the danger. So Kristjen Nielsen wants to. Yeah, she was promoted by Kelly, who also convinced Trump on DACA. Yeah, he's against DACA. There's the whole thing. It's like I feel like there's this whole. I mean, there's a movement, quote unquote, of like maybe in the media of like passing Kelly as acceptable, as like reasonable or something. And I think that guy is just scary. Like he, in the sense that he's a really hardcore racist person. That's him. I mean, you saw him like talking to Frederica Wilson, I think her name is. Very like a racist, hardcore racist person, and I think that's how this administration has no, like they don't have anything. They don't stand for anything other than racism and whatever Russia wants. Okay, exactly. Okay, just tell me all this to my Kristen. What's up with her? Yeah, no heart, exactly. Okay, so. Yeah. Okay, so exactly, Michelle said they totally lost their minds when the Obama papers. Exactly. It's like I just feel like honestly, I think this administration is all about racism. That's really where their heart is. Okay, I really believe that. Like I don't think they have the whole thing with Russia is like I think that okay, my theory about this whole Russia thing is that Russia had their southern strategy, quote unquote. Okay, so basically they understood that they could get into the minds of those Republicans by playing the race card. Okay, by saying like how they could, imagine a world where there's just white people. They got so excited, so they started to like, well, I'm saying the base, but it's not just the base; it's the politicians because Russia first got to the politicians before they got to the base. Like they seduced them that way by thinking, pushing these ideas that um, just make things the way they were before. Yes, exactly. The politicians do what they, but I think it's like they really are very smart about understanding how these people think. So they really push that the anti, like the anti, like the basically hardcore racism from forever. Okay, so I feel like they understood how to like again the Southern strategy, apply the Southern strategy, and be like, well, look, we can get it over Obama. Like Obama's horrible. You don't need that. Like KKK, yeah, KKK, NRA, and all those things. Like they got infiltrated by Russians. Like, I mean, I don't know KKK, but I know NRA. So, okay. So guys, this is the central column for this is Kristjen Nielsen. Okay, so she likes illusions. She loves it. Loves the illusions. She's happy with the offer or happy with the deal. Okay, or marriage or something like that. Oh, oh my God. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, because I saw these cards and I was like, I wonder if she has an affair with what's his name, Kelly. If they have something going on, I don't know. Anyway, just because it's like happy, she's happy married or happy with a married person or something like that. Okay. Anyway, so this is Kristjen Nielsen, the center. Okay. All right. So okay, beginning. And this, guys, this is interesting. This is the beginning. This is sudden or quickly, and this is conversations or meetings. And I think this is about DACA. This is a weak strength upside down means weakness and child. So I feel like she wants to she quickly started meetings about how to weaken the position of children. Makes me want to throw up, but like that's what I think. It's like she very quickly put into place strategies to weaken the children. That's what it feels like. So conversations, meetings about the children and how to weaken them. Okay, so that would be DACA. And so this is a Wheel of Fortune upside down. And I feel like, and this is money. So I feel like in some ways she got paid to turn things around in terms of immigration. Okay. I feel like there's a lot of money behind her in some way. And this is a person who has a lot of energy, and this is Russia, or it could be her, but I think for some reason I do still think could be Russia. So I feel like it could be either, but I'll yeah, I feel like okay, so this is money, big money behind from Russia, or it could be her, talking about her. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, you guys, it's true. Because cybersecurity and oh my God, I can't even, it makes me want to throw up. Oh my God. Because, oh my God. So Homeland, Julie is saying Homeland cybersecurity is in a unified position. So it's like, it's even worse. Because if she is like, she just does whatever Russia wants. Okay. So obviously we know that cybersecurity in Russia are like terrible, right? They just want to screw us over. So yeah, this is money either related to her or related to Russia. And either way, it's not good. I'll just put these together so you guys can see the whole thing. It's like meetings about how to weaken the children, and getting money probably from Russia. So like Russia in a way could be supporting the anti-immigration hardline, because it's like it creates more division, maybe. Okay. And so on top, it's like she's happy to put up the illusion, because on top it's like a lot, like castles in the air. So it's like this card right on top here. So she's happy. The conversations that are related to a lot of money make her happy. Or also, you know, it's funny because this card of the fish also came up a lot when I was doing readings about the dreamers, because it's like a lot of people. Okay, the fish is like a large quantity of them, of people in some ways. So it could also be that it's still confirming that lots of people, conversations about like how to turn things around for the worse, all like hundreds of, oh my God, you guys, oh my God, I got goosebumps now. You know what it is? You know how fish can be migratory too? Like they move depending on the temperature of the water. I think so. Okay, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm not a super biology person, but I'm thinking that. So this could also mean migration or immigration in some way. Let's say the same as birds. So anyway, so I just feel like the whole thing with her is to weaken the position of immigrants, and she wants to. Oh, you know what it is? It's like deals about the children. She wants to do, yes. So if I feel like it's like she wants to make these deals to weaken the children, and she's happy to keep on with the illusion. That's what I get from her. Okay. And so this was up to the center. Now let's see the two more columns that would indicate the future. Okay. So it's funny. Justice makes an offer. I don't know what this means. Okay, so it could you know, because this could be the Department of Justice also. Okay. And this is heartbreak and the scythe. So it could mean that she gets removed. Okay. Because I think, as I've seen before, whenever the scythe comes, especially with these people, it means that they are removed in some way at some point. Okay. And I don't know. I think this, because the reading is about her, I don't think that the person who has the heart is the public. I think it's her. So she's removed, I think. Or maybe she gets a deal to leave, something like that. Okay. And this is unburden and network or expansion. And this is the King of Wands, could be a leader of some sort. And news about. So I also feel like there's going to be news of an ending. Okay. It could also mean that this could be an expansion of the news of an expansion, and the invitation of the governor or justice, or justice comes in some ways, and so basically news of an ending and news of the expansion. So it's possible, I think, also that she has to leave when the news about the investigation is delivered, the whole thing. Okay, so I don't know that she gets to go to jail or something like that, but I think the whole thing gets cut, hopefully. Okay. Because if we look, I'll show you, there's another method here called mirroring. So it's like the columns, they're like kind of like mirror each other. You read them together. So here we could say that there's, the justice gives a gift to the immigrant kids here, and things that are related to Russia get cut. Okay. So you could read it that way. And you could also read it the other way here, which is the end and the beginning. So here is like conversations, meetings about an expansion. And the unburdening on behind can also mean that people start talking and more facts come to the surface. So it's an expansion in a way here. And the news about the children, okay? The news about the weakened children. So in a way, this is the beginning and this is the end. But then when you flip it like that, it also means, I feel like, okay, looking at the whole thing together, she's part of the team, okay? The team of the liars, basically, because that's what it said. Like, she's happy here. She's happy with the illusion. And she is happy with the deal. She knows the drill. She knows what the deal is, okay? So, but then she fights to turn things badly to make things bad for the immigrants, okay? And she is seduced by the whole pro-Russia thing. But ultimately, justice expands and gives gifts to people. I mean, there's news of something related to justice, and that creates an ending for her. Okay, she's cut, I think, ultimately because of the legal developments. And there's news of her cut, but there's also news about better things for the kids. I think, you know what I think? I ultimately think she loses the battle against the children. And I think she loses status because everybody related to the Russia thing. I mean, everybody who came with the administration comes through. And so let's see here. Okay, guys. Okay. So we should be around. Or just a random like a question. We should be around by November 2018. Let's see. Here. Should be around. Quickly. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like. Yeah, I feel like an opportunity for. Yeah, I don't think here. Opportunity for her reputation. Things come to the light, and then she's found guilty. Like, I think something about. I think she's gonna leave out of self-protection. Okay. So that's that. Okay. That's what I think about her. That she's part of the whole crew of racists, and that I think she's very anti-immigration. That's what I get here. She wants to make things bad for the children. And then she's removed once. I think she is removed once once the investigation like goes further. Okay. And yeah. Okay. All right, guys. So now I think I feel like unless you have a question about something quick. Yeah, I wish time was, I feel like I have to study this a little bit more, because a lot of times people count, because, okay, so this is the main challenge, is that there's a method that goes year by year. Okay. So like the problem with, let's say, the Trump administration, let's say, okay, let's do a trial. Let's do this now. The Trump administration, I saw a method that we have to make the assumption that Trump is going to leave this year. Okay, let's say that Trump is the administration is going to end this year, because either we look at something like there's a method where I pick the death card. Okay. Yeah, Lucian, you know what? Right now, I think it's a little bit late. I think it's great, Lucian. It's a great question about Cory Booker. But I think it's, those kinds of readings about there's like, I think I need at least half hour, and I think I'm not going to have a half hour, but let's do something like an experimental. Okay. Something about when, okay, let's say, because people ask about time, when will the Trump administration end? Okay, guys. So this is I'll tell you what the issues are. So the problem with when is that we have to pick before the whole thing. Before I choose, it cannot be completely open-ended, because I can't tell you like the day of or the year or something like that. Okay, we have to kind of choose a timeline. Like, it can't be like, oh, it's like, in 5 years or 4 years or whatever. Okay, so I think let me put it this way. Let's assume that the Trump administration is going to come to an end within a year. And so what I'm going to do, there's 36 cards here for the Lenormands, okay? Well, let's do a year, Cynthia, because I think a year is realistic. Because let me explain how we do it. So I choose the death card as the card that is the card that indicates the month. Okay, so what I do is I shuffle the cards and I separate them like little mouths. Okay, so I'm gonna do one. So each mound is a little month. Okay, so for example, we are in January, which is easier. So it's like I'm gonna cut the cards, and it's gonna be one wherever the death card shows. That's the month that it ends. Okay. But yes, but it's no. But Donna, let's say there's gonna be. Let's say you can't hear me. Can you guys hear me at all? No. Can you guys? Can anybody else say? You can. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, other people can hear. Okay. So anyway, Diane, maybe something else. I don't know. Okay. So basically, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to split whatever the death card falls is the month where it's going to end. So let's say the Trump presidency ends when Trump leaves the presidency. That's how we're going to define it. Okay. So the Trump presidency ends when Trump is no longer president. Let's just put it this way. Okay, all right. So when Trump is not president, so I am assuming that let's just do it for the year of 2018. We're starting already with the assumption that it's going to end this year. Okay. Diane, well, she can't hear me, so I can't. I don't know. Like, there's nothing I could. Anyway, so I'm going to do this now and show you what we're assuming that it's going to end within 1 year. We're going to find out when in 2018 it's going to end. So please tell us by showing where the death card is located when Trump is going to leave the presidency, okay? Okay. Okay, so January, February, March, April. I'm just going to show you all the cards until we find death, okay? Okay, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay, then we start again. January, February, March, April, May, June, oh my God, July, August, September, October, November, December. Oh my God. Okay. January, February, March. Oh, yes. March, guys. So excited. Okay. So, okay, guys. So that's, okay. So, okay. That's when the cards, that's what the card would indicate. Okay, so if it's within, and again, guys, I would not take this super seriously. It's just a method that I've found that is interesting. Okay, because there are other methods that you can look at this year, Cynthia, because I was explaining before that what happens is this, and this is a challenge. Okay, and we could try, let's try quickly another way, because like I said, it's not an open-ended system. It's a system where we have to pick the whole length of time. So I said before, it's for the year, okay? It's for 1 year. So, okay, so then we could do it for 2 years, okay, which would be just to test it again or something. But for now, if it's within 2018, that's where we have this card. Okay, it's in March. So that's that. Okay, we'll see, because there's other ways of counting, like for example, like randomly. So let's look at this card here. Okay, so if we look at try to find out about the timing, there's different ways you can find out about the timing. So here it's like this is card 29, you see here. Okay, so it could be 29 months, 29 weeks, or the day 29. Okay, and then here we have the ace. And I forgot how you count cards, but I think the ace is the highest, right? So it's like, it would be 14. So there's just like, so you see what I mean? So it's like you have to predetermine how you're going to count it, because it's like, so if, let's say, if the card lady was Howie, we're going to count, then it would be like 29 weeks. So what's, you know what I mean? Those kinds of things are a little bit complicated. Because I still think that this method that I did now, even though it's experimental, is probably the best thing, is just to have a reading just on timing. Because you don't know, okay, you don't know when or how. So that's the story. So who knows? It will be fun. I really don't believe that the whole thing is gonna last longer than like August or something. Guys, I don't think, honestly, I think it's gonna be a little later than March, but I think like Mueller is very close. Like if he's already, I mean, by the way, who does that? Like what they did with Bannon? They gave them what is it called? Oh my God, what is it called? The whole thing, they gag order. He can't say certain things. And if you do that, I'm sorry, like, hello, we know what that means. They're guilty. Like, why can't he talk about stuff? Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like who does that, right? It's like, it's almost like Mueller's probably laughing, like, ha ha ha, like, then that's what I should ask. Like, why is the White House, like, what is the White House, like, what do they not want him to say? And that's the answer. Okay, so the guy is so guilty, it's not even funny. Okay, so I feel like if they feel that it's getting closer, then it's possible that it, okay. I feel like the whole thing, why I think it's going to be early in the year. Oh my God, Natalie, yes. Natalie, really? Oh my God. I love it when people are like, oh, so-and-so also said that this. And I'm like, oh my God, I love it. I love it. I hope Natalie is right too. She also got March. Yes. I hope so. Because I feel like, you know how I think several people have said, I don't know if, I think Kristjen said that. And also Tracy Brown said that he leaves. And Kristjen said something similar. So I feel like, I always forgot her last name, but Kristjen. Anyway, but she said he leaves. So I feel like a lot of people say that he leaves because I think the whole thing, when he realizes what the deal is with Mueller, how long and how draining that's going to be, and he can't get away from it, he may choose to leave instead. So we'll see. Kristjen Langston, exactly. Yes, Kristjen Langston and Tracy, exactly. Both said something like that they would be like, he would leave. So that's what I, okay, I'll, so yeah, I get it. Yes, I hope so soon. Okay, because that's that guy. So we'll see. I mean, it'd be amazing. Can you imagine if, like, I don't know, I would explode with happiness if he leaves, if this administration ends. Can you imagine? It's like heaven on earth. Honestly, oh my God. Oh my God. So I said that was that. Okay, I think I think it's today. I think we had many readings. So tomorrow I'll continue. Tomorrow there's another one, and there's so many subjects to cover. So there's never, like, not, you know, it's never the case where we have nothing to say. So yeah, so it's a good because honestly, it's like we're in the middle of a nightmare. It seems like it's never going to end. So it's nice to feel like it's going to come to an ending. So anyway, so yes. Oh, feel loved. Yeah. I love you guys. Thank you for support and talking to you guys. It's fun to have like people who share this concern with the world. Okay, all right. So guys, see you tomorrow. Okay, I'll be back on. And oh, by the way, I didn't have your email, so I couldn't email anybody when there was a problem with Patreon. All right, I'll get your guys' emails and then email you if anything else happens like that, like today with Patreon. All right. Okay, so see you tomorrow, the same time. Bye. Bye.